Now, Ghana is no longer on the European Union's list of countries that have failed to put in measures to fight money laundering. This follows the country's removal from the League of Countries cited for money laundering by the Financial Action Task Force last week. We have more on what the task force said in a statement.
The Financial Action Task Force, in a statement, said it welcomed the significant progress by the country in improving its anti-money laundering and combating the financing of terrorism regime. It said Ghana has strengthened the effectiveness of its regime and addressed related technical deficiencies to meet the commitments in its action plan regarding the strategic deficiencies that the task force identified in October 2018. The EU blacklisted Ghana among several other countries for money laundering in May 2020. Other African countries blacklisted were Botswana, Mauritius, and Zimbabwe. The EU said under the Anti-Money Laundering Directive, the Commission has revised its list, taking into account developments at the international level since 2018, and that the new list is now better aligned with the list published by the Financial Action Task Force. The Bahamas, Barbados, Jamaica, along with Cambodia, Mongolia, Myanmar, Nicaragua, and Panama are the other affected countries.
Well, we're joined by a cybersecurity and anti-money laundering expert, Eric Korte, on this development. Eric, we're so grateful that you joined us. First of all, what message does this send to investors, especially those within the cybersecurity landscape? Eric, if you could hear me, of course, we've seen the European Union, take Ghana off the blacklist after progress in tackling deficiencies. The question to you, therefore, is what message does this send to investors along this value chain of cybersecurity and issues regarding huge sums of investment?
Hello?
Yeah, Eric, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, perfectly. So this is good news, but what message does it send to investors and players within the space?
Well, it's very good news for for Ghana as a whole, and the financial service industry particularly. And so I'm quite fine that we have gotten to this stage.
But do you believe this particular perception that we're out of the woods when it comes to money laundering?
No, we are not out of it at all. Because the financial service industry is a playground for money laundering to start with. In 1966, in a case involving UDC versus Kirkwood, a UK court case, the business of banking was defined and the functions of a banker was stated as accepting deposits for the credit of the customer's account, to handle the customer's instructions to pay, and then to keep some of accounts for these transactions for the deposits and the instruction. If we juxtapose this to money laundering, the first stage in money laundering is placement. And the definition of placement is putting money, illegal or dirty money, into the financial service industry. And so if the financial service industry has a function for the bank to accept deposits, it means that any deposit that comes into a bank or financial service industry is a potential placement activity in money laundering. In handling the customer's instructions to pay in banking, accounting rules provide that the account must be debited. Juxtapose that to the second stage in money laundering, layering suggests that the money that has been previously placed will be layered into several places in order to infiltrate the trail. And the money will go to those layers only when it is taken out of the source where the situation where the placement was made, and which becomes the source for layering.
All right.
And so every time a financial service industry accepts deposits for the customer's account, a potential placement activity arises.
Great.
Anytime a banker handles a customer's instructions to pay and a debit is raised to a customer's account, a potential layering activity arises.
So speaking about layering and even matters regarding firewalls in the cybersecurity space, what measures can be put in place to make this sustainable so we don't get back to this matter of us being blacklisted in the future?
The issue is layering will take place when there are people involved. So it doesn't matter the medium or platform, whether it is IT-based or what have you. In cybersecurity, it's another discussion altogether. But the important part of it is that anytime IT comes into business operations, accuracy is sacrificed for speed.
All right.
And so the question of money laundering in the financial service industry is closer to us than the close that we were. And as long as the financial service industry exists in the world, money laundering will stay at us at all times unless the people speak up. Because when placement takes place as a result of a deposit to a customer's account, money laundering offense does not arise.
Okay.
It is only when layering takes place. That is when the money dirty money that has been placed into the financial service is being taken out, that the crime or offense of money laundering arises. And why will that money leave the financial service industry? Only when the people factor turns out wrong or systems go wrong.
Great. Eric, we're so grateful for your input there. He's a cybersecurity and anti-money laundering expert within this field as Ghana gets, lifted out of its blacklisting space by the European Union when it comes to money laundering and cyber crime.